Welcome to Daily Dose Radio, a 5-minute devotional podcast studying the Psalms verse by verse. Broadcast from the ever-beautiful Sharonville, Ohio, on the sunny side of Cincinnati. Hey, welcome back to Daily Dose Radio. This is Fair Trade Bible Study, where the Bible beans are picked by hand and fresh daily. We're looking this week at Psalm 144, and today we're going to close out Psalm 144 with an examination of the happiness section, verses 12 through 15, but we did 12 already. So we're going to look at 13 through 15 today, and let me just begin by reading those for you. That our garners may be full, affording all manner of store, that our sheep may bring forth thousands and 10,000s in our streets, that our oxen may be strong to labor, that there be no breaking in or going out, that there be no complaining in our streets. Happy is that people that is in such a case. Yea, happy is that people whose God is the Lord. Isn't that good? So we end here in 13, 14, and 15 in the same way that we began there in 12. 12 begins this, what we call the happiness section. Weiser so names it that. And I like that because the result of the petition is this happiness, this blessedness that comes on the people of God because of their obedience. And we can go back to Deuteronomy chapter 28 and find these themes. The sons are like plants, the daughters like cornerstones, polished like a palace. Garners are full, sheep are bringing forth, oxen are strong, doing their part. There's no breaking in or going out. So all of these things, and no complaining. Notice that. We'll get to that in a minute. No complaining in our streets. That's pretty good. So, that our garners may be full. What in the world's that about? Well, that's store, isn't it? Then that's provision. So the Lord, because of His goodness, is providing for His people who are walking in His way. So there's this covenant back and forth between the people that are walking after their God and the God who is taking care of His people. That covenant love relationship is happening. It's good. It's in place. It's all pieced together, just like it's supposed to be. The garners filled, affording all manner of store. So whether it's grain or whether it's provender for the animals or whether it's stuff set aside for the wintertime, clothing, finances, I mean, we could go on and on about what the kind of things is that we store. We sometimes store too much. The Lord's store is always just right. And he says here, the psalmist says here, our garners may be full according to all manner of store. So that's the Lord's hand working. That our sheep may bring forth thousands and 10,000s in our streets. Again, that's the blessing of the Lord. So the sheep are bearing, and they're bearing abundantly. And of course, that leads to prosperity because that was their primary income, was the income from the herds. Verse 14, that our oxen may be strong to labor. So the oxen, of course, that's the equipment, those are the engines which drive all the implements of the farm. Their strength is so important, and you want strong oxen to do great labor. And that's exactly what happens, remember, in this perfect covenant setting. So the people are following the Lord. Their sons, their daughters, their garners, their sheep, and their oxen are all strong. It's all good. And then there's a little bit of change here, that there be no breaking in. So that is robbery, theft. There's no fear of somebody coming in your house because everyone is at peace. No one's upset. Everyone has store. Everyone has provender. There's no need to worry. There have been times in our country where we could leave the back door unlocked. And then he goes on to say that there be no complaining in our streets. Boy, we need that, don't we? Boy, there's plenty of complaining. Most of it's driven by envy and greed. And so when we have envy and greed, there's every evil work. And that's exactly the opposite of this. No complaining in the streets is because the Lord's blessing is on this people. And then we have this pronouncement in 15. Happy is that people whose God is the Lord. Certainly, that's true. Join me again next week. We're going to do Psalm 145, and you don't want to miss Psalm 145. We're going to do it in 2 parts, but you need to be here for every single day. Make sure you join me next time on Daily Dose Radio. Thanks for listening to Daily Dose Radio. I'm David Smith. The music today has been performed by the Bluegrass Experiment. Thanks again for listening. I'll see you next time on Daily Dose Radio.